Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Guys, we had a few new heroes coming into the game, including 2 new epics, and these 2 new epics have some skill sets on them that we've been asking for a long time. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so a couple of these heroes are pretty exciting. A couple of them might not be. So some of you, it really depends on what you're prioritizing in the game, but they are very cool. Every single one of them, I think they're going to be nice additions to Watcher of Realms. We're going to start off with Knight Arlott. He's going to be a Cultist and Infernal Blast faction combo. So he's going to be very useful as far as being paired with like Ezerith, Demi. Morrigan's kind of doing so hot these days. I don't think you hear people talking about her too much. But yeah, even if you just have some epics like Aeon or Abizu, they're definitely going to work out really well. The Cultist faction is really coming around. We have heroes like Pierre that just released, Rosalia, they're all on the team right now, Magda. There's a lot of good heroes now in the Cultist faction. I feel like they've made a massive recovery here. Then we have the Infernal Blast squad where you pair it with Soul Cadence, and you're gonna see that there's some damage boosting that's gonna be going on with him, and it's pretty cool. But he has a lot of utility as well. So Knight Arlott, he's gonna be a defender doing magic damage. Strong CC, high block, and durability are his tags, which means he has some kind of crowd control. He's gonna have a high block. Actually, his block is really high, and then he has extra durability for survivability. So talent, when deployed, creates Soulbound Purgatory. Reduces movement speed of enemies in range by 25%. So immediately with a Cultist faction, whenever they come into his range, he's immediately giving you that crowd control that you need to take full advantage of the Lord faction boost, okay? And then we have around the hero, inflicts condemnation to the enemy with the highest HP within that Soulbound Purgatory. Condemnation, when other enemies within Soulbound Purgatory take damage, the enemy with condemnation also takes damage equal to 15% of that damage. So the way that this sounds to me is that if he's going to have 15% damage from all incoming damage extra, as long as they're within his range of condemnation. So that is very cool. Up to 500% of the hero's max HP. He has a very high significant max HP here. So 29.59k HP. It's gonna be easy to get in the 100,000 range, 100,000, 120 range. So 500% of that is gonna be roughly 500 to 580, I believe, in HP. And up to that kind of damage that they had to put that limit on there is kind of weird, but yeah, 15% up to 500% of the hero's max HP. So you can't go over that 580k hit. Which seems like it's almost impossible, but I don't remember hearing anybody hit for, I mean, millions is a possibility, but that many millions, I'm not so sure. Maybe someday it'll happen. To the enemy within the highest max HP within Soulbound Purgatory, the hero continuously inflicts burning on enemies within Soulbound Purgatory. So yeah, thinking of maybe he can be good in the Immortal Codex. He's also going to be able to help with bosses. Burning is always pretty nice. But yeah, that's his talent. Moving on to the basic attack, it's gonna be magic attack, deals 120% skilled out magic damage to one enemy target. Okay, so he's gonna be just hitting one target. And then on to the first passive, Forsaken Vows. There's a cooldown of 20 seconds, so you can't do it. It's just gonna happen every 20 seconds. It's gonna repeat itself. Every 20 seconds, the next basic attack deals 150% AoE damage to up to 5 enemies, inflicts stun for 2 seconds. When its remaining cooldown is more than 5 seconds, each time the hero restores HP, reduces the cooldown by 1 second. It looks like it can be cooled down a little bit further, cooldown minus 5 seconds. Then cooldown reduction per HP restoration is going to be a 0.5 second or plus 0.5 seconds. So we'll get to a total of 1.5. And 15 seconds it'll activate every 15 seconds. Nether Flame Curse, gonna apparently do it every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds deals 100% damage to up to 8 enemies within Soulbound Purgatory. that is going to be that debuff, I guess he puts on. He puts Soulbound Purgatory around him as well within his range, and restores 2% max HP to the hero for every one enemy hit. So it's a little bit of self-healing depending on how many enemies are on him. The restoration amount increases by 10% for every 1 stack of burning on enemies within Soulbound Purgatory. So you're getting an extra 10% healing every time there's more burns on that enemy. If you're bringing like the Infernal Blast squad, he's just going to be invincible. Up to a maximum increase of 100% healing. So he'll get an extra 4% max HP. I'm assuming that's the way it reads. Could be wrong, but that's the way it sounds, and that's the way the math kind of sounds like it's going to work. All right, on to the ultimate, Cage of Rancor. Rancor, yeah. He has that alien style range when he activates his ultimate. When activated, increases the range of Soulbound Purgatory and block by 1, based on the number of enemies inflicted with burning in range. Inflicts an equal amount of burning on the target with condemnation up to 5 stacks. So you can get extra bunch of 5 stacks of burning out there. It just screams Immortal Codex, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's going to work well in some kind of Abyss run. This guy might really help out the Infernal Blast and Abyss, because they kind of fall behind on compared to the Watcher faction and the Esotericist faction combination. But you can still get 60k, but you can't hit that 80, 90, 100k kind of damage. Then pulls up to 5 ground enemies in range, dealing 300% AoE damage and inflicting stun. So he's gonna just pull those units right in and put a 2 or 3 second stun on them. Within 10 seconds of its duration, gains unyielding, will not die from taking damage, for 5 seconds upon taking fatal damage for the first time. Yeah, so he's gonna get an extra block. So it's gonna be a block +2. Wow, so block +2. What is his block in standard is gonna be 3. All skilled out and leveled up, I believe he comes out to achieving roughly a 7 block, if I'm correct here. Let me see the max this out. Block is gonna be 4, 5, 6 from the skill, and then you put something like a Bastion Ring on there, and that's gonna bring him up to 7. This is a lot of block for a unit that's going to help you with the Hellfire Emperor as well, not just the Arbiter of Frost. So it's something to keep in mind. Very, very cool. On to the Awakenings here. Awaken level 1, Soulbound Purgatory inflicts vulnerability to magic damage of 20% on enemies within it. This is going to be very useful when it comes to using, you know, the Infernal Blast squad in Abyss, or maybe even the Infernal Blast squad on the Arbiter of Frost. Anything. This is pretty awesome. Having that magic damage vulnerability helps them take extra damage. Magic res reduction is going to be really nice too if we can get that. Awaken level 2 is HP plus 1200. Awaken level 3 is when another flame curse hits the enemy with condemnation. Triggers 3 extra times of damage and HP restoration effects. So just a little more healing and stuff like that with the Awaken level 3. All damage reductions plus 8% on the Awaken level 4. Awaken level 5 is during the ultimate, increases condemnation's damage to 30%. Oh, very nice. So it comes up from 15% to 30% extra damage. Very cool hero. He's going to be something else. He's going to change things in some kind of way. Still have to do a lot of testing with this guy. I played with him just very little, but I definitely do plan on bringing out some content for him going in the future. Now, there is also going to be a defender now. Here is this weird looking dude, Thunkles. Look at him. Look at this guy. Big fat guy with some blades going through him, nice little helmet and weird horns. I don't even know what he is, an ogre of some kind? A living fortress with a high block that weakens enemies when hit. Once the slaughter begins, he becomes a one-man army with lifesteal and anti-healing capabilities. This is the part that's really cool. So anti-healing on an epic. He is the first ever epic that has anti-healing. I've been screaming since day one of playing this game that we need an epic with anti-healing that people can use as a free-to-play option. It didn't have to have 100% anti-heal on them. It just had to have some sort of anti-heal to help people get to gear raid 121. He's just an epic, so I mean he's not gonna like carry you all the way with anti-healing all the way up to, you know, something like gear raid 124 or whatever, you know, and it's not going to be that crazy, but he can do some pretty cool things in Gear Dungeon and Gear Raid 1, especially for the early to mid game players. A very cool gift for everybody. When taking damage from an enemy, has a 30% chance of inflicting a damage reduction on them. That's a nice solid 30 or minus 30%. That makes him super useful in a lot of things for people, okay? Any bosses, any kind of enemy that's doing a lot of damage, he's gonna take a hit and he's gonna put a damage reduction of minus 30%. You think about something like APOC 1, APOC 2, whatever, you're gonna put him in there and he's gonna do amazing things. Alright, onto the basic attack here. Deals damage to one enemy. Periodic rage regen, +3 for 2 extra levels here. First passive, the Butcher's Frenzy. During the ultimate, increases block by 1, and each basic attack restores 11% of the hero's max HP. That's going to go to a 15%. So every time he hits, getting a 15% heal. Very nice, very nice. His total block here starting off is going to be 3, so that's going to bring it to 4. Put a Bastion Ring on, you're going to get a nice solid 5 block out of him. After casting the ultimate, increases max HP by 25%, very cool, and expands the basic attack range. Each attack deals 150% damage to up to 8 enemies and inflicts anti-healing on them. 25% is going to go up to 45% max HP increase, which is significant. And the anti-healing is unable to recover HP for 3 seconds every single time he does it. Incredible. This is incredible. I've tested him a little bit, and as far as putting him in Gear Raid 121 and putting him down there on the bottom and then using some mages and stuff on the sides, you're still going to need some supplemental supplement anti-healing going on besides him. It's hard to get his ultimate back fast enough just to use him as the only anti-heal. But if you have good enough gear and enough mages that are decent, you can definitely use him to help you out, especially towards the end of the fight there. And it is a great option. Awakenings. Being an epic, this is one of the coolest things about epics, is that they are typically relatively easy to awaken. Awaken level 1, when an enemy dies in range, increases max HP by 2%, stacking up to 16 times. So he's gonna get himself an extra 32% max HP. This guy is just an incredible epic. Awaken level 2 is HP plus 1200. Awaken 3, upon taking fatal damage, gains unyielding. So he also gets a nice 6-second unyielding. He's just awesome. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per deployment. Okay, that's pretty typical. All damage reductions plus 5%. And then we have increases the ultimate duration by 5 seconds. Makes him stay casting that anti-healing a little bit longer. Very, very cool. I'm super excited about Mr. Thunkles. I think that's what we gotta call him, the Mr. Thunkles. Very cool epic. I'm happy to see that they're adding more epics to the game as well. These guys are super useful for the early to mid game player. A lot of players don't even get too far past using a bunch of epics. Sometimes they just play with epics, you know, and this opens up the doors for a lot of different things. All right, on to another fighter. It's gonna be another epic, Esoterrorist's faction. And it's gonna be Xasny. I'm sorry. Jasny. I think that's the way you say it. Jasny. Sorry. Anyway, Esoterrorist's faction is pretty cool. We have Nastia, we have Venoma, we have Cyrus. And on the epic categories, we have Raiden, who I'm not really a huge fan of. We also have Vixera. They're good options. They do help a little bit with the skill costs. But when you get to somebody like Cyrus, reduces the faction team's member skill cost by 25%. And when an ally is defeated or retreats, increases the damage. And then we have our girl Venoma, who was buffed recently, which is going to be the same thing, reduces the cost of ultimates by 25%. And she also increases allies' rage by 30% upon their first deployment. Makes them be able to pop them down and just do their ultimates pretty quickly. And then reduces faction team members' skill cost by 25%. And then she's going to be putting out extra damage. Increases faction team members' damage against targets inflicted with debuffs by 5% per debuff, up to a 40% damage increase. Very cool, kind of like the Yovar of the ESO faction. All right, so what is he doing though? He has single target magic attack. Then he also has offensive dispel. Very cool, very cool. Why is this so cool? Because a lot of people struggle getting a hero that can take off the buffs from the Aegis phase in APOC 2. This is going to do that. And is it an epic option for you to do this as well? This is very important, okay? Every 3 attacks gains attack interval decrease. Attack interval minus 15%, okay? Physical damage reduction of plus 20% and magic damage reduction for 5 seconds. So, how fast is he? Let's check out his attack interval quick. A 2.6 second attack interval, which means that's going to stay up pretty consistently if he's hitting something. Okay, so he's going to have that 15% charge, I guess, to his attack interval, which is a direct hit. But he's going to also gain this physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction for 5 seconds. When the ultimate is triggered, additionally dispels 1 buff from the target. Now, I'm thinking about is the Aegis phase in APOC 2, and it is very important to be able to take that off. A lot of people don't get past like phase or wave 5 or 6, right? And then they don't hit their number because they just can't do enough damage. The stacks keep stacking up, and you know, those Aegis stacks. Every single time that they do, he increased his stats, his defense, his HP, everything. Being able to maintain these and control that somewhat makes it so you can just take those off, right? And then you can just manage the Aegis phase a little bit better and get through it. Anyway, the basic attack deals 75% magic damage to one enemy 2 times. That's gonna go up to 85%. The passive deprivation, when successfully dispelling buffs from enemies, it's gonna also inflict vulnerability to physical damage and magic damage, and he's gonna put a damage reduction on them. The vulnerabilities to physical and magic damage is going to go up to 20%, and the damage reduction is going to be a 15% damage reduction. It's going to last for 5 seconds. Always useful. More damage reduction. Everything's good here. Shadow Verdict is his ultimate. Going to cost 800. You start off with 700, so you can cast it pretty quickly. It is going to be manual as well. Absorb shadow energy to increase attack range and change the attack to quadruple strikes. Each attack deals 50% magic damage 4 times to one enemy in range. This effect lasts for 10 seconds. Just a damage hit. It is what it is. It's going to be doing some damage. It's been doing multiple strikes. So I want to say, like, yeah, I guess like multi strikes in a quick succession. So very cool. 10 seconds. It's gonna be like a 20 to 30 hit ultimate. So you could use them something like the Styx boss if you were struggling with that. Awakenings. Awaken level 1, ultimate attack additionally inflicts stun. Okay, so now we're talking. We're doing stuns during this 10-second period. He's just kind of screaming APOC 2 or APOC 1, whatever you want to use him for, right? Now he's gonna be doing these stuns. That's going to trigger and pull down those stacks on the Death Saw. So when that Death Saw, you want to try to get up to like at least 12 stacks, and it reduces attack, it stuns them a bunch, it slows them down a little bit. So this is one way to survive, right? So now he's going to be doing the stuns, and he's going to be doing the spells. So this guy's just screaming apocalypse, right? Awesome. So Awaken level 2 is going to be attack plus 5%, always nice. Awaken level 3 is restores 10% rage upon successfully dispelling enemy buffs, regardless of the number of buffs dispelled. So this right here tells me that yes, he will be able to do take that buff off, the Aegis buff, and he's also going to be able to do it if there's like 2, 3, 4 stacks on there. You can just take it off, and if you do take it off, you can get a nice 10% rage boost upon doing so. Very nice. Awaken level 4 is rage regen attack plus 2, and then Awaken level 5 is ultimate duration plus 5 seconds. So that means that he's going to be able to do those stacks very easily. So now he's going to be doing this for 15 seconds at Awaken level 5. And getting your epics to Awaken level 5 isn't that difficult. I promise you, you're going to get yourself a lot of epic soul stones while you play this game. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Let me know what you think. Who are you most excited for? Is it going to be Knight Arlott? Are you actually excited for some of these epics? I am. I think it's pretty cool. Even if I don't really need them, I'm happy they're being added for players that are coming into the game, and they could take full advantage of these heroes. Both of them are going to help in APOC. Some are going to help with some of the codexes. A lot of cool stuff. Knight Arlott is going to be a massive damage increase to whatever you're doing. He will be able to tank and do damage by default as long as you have heroes on your team doing a ton of damage. But anyways, guys, don't forget to join the Discord. You're looking for promo codes, hero guides, stage guides, whatever. You can also check out prospector.gg. And if you don't mind supporting me, I'll get a 5% kickback from Smile1 when you use it. That's smile1.prospector.gg. Appreciate all your support. Looking forward to checking out these heroes much more in depth. I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.